I acknowledge nothing. El Campeon is here. Like the Judgment Day, I have it in the back just chilling. Where Damien puts it most weeks. Just in the background.
Yeah. I went to Scotland and they got my belt upgraded. I couldn't quite afford proper prices, but
Drew couldn't win it, so I won it for him.
Yeah. Sure,
I found Priest. He had one leg at the time. At the time, I decided to beat up Priest. He's a one-legged man.
Yeah. What a weekend that was.
Yeah, what a weekend. We'll get into this, but first we'll round up with a new segment. A bit of news. That's right, we have a new segment. And it's about news because stuff has happened.
Stuff has happened
this week. There's been a lot of news. We're going to start with the big one. The one that's been saying coming soon since April. The behind the scenes of WrestleMania doc is finally actually coming soon. As soon as July 3rd.
We can see the build up to Cody finishing his story.
We get to see the switch or pivot of a story, and they're them claiming that they've done it since the beginning, which I still doubt, but they might frame it in the doc like that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see because I've saw a lot of things, and apparently up until the day it was meant to be Austin who came out after Cena.
And the whole, I've seen images of, Seth behind the scenes hugging Roman and The Rock and stuff, all of that.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see, because obviously it was meant, I think it was meant to be Austin Theory.
And also be interested in the extent of it, because we know the injury and how it looked in the ring, but, we'll see how much extent it was behind the scenes of him patching up his injury by duct tape before his match is set.
Yeah. But he's back. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. That is also a news. He is back. The other big news we learned at Clash, me and John learned this at Clash, is that the Netflix deal is actually including all 3 shows. Now, they've only advertised Raw, but they said in Scotland that we're getting NXT, SmackDown, and the pay-per-views. All on Netflix.
Good. Very good.
Which was always my question. As you know, on different episodes, John, I've said it. I need more information on this.
Yeah, it was so weird that they were only advertising Raw, and they still, as we were talking about,
you were telling me before that they're getting rid of the Double D network, and said, how can they if they've not announced the pay-per-views and stuff? Where are they going?
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense now.
But America are still advertising it just as Raw because TV deals and yada 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 that I mentioned off camera.
Yeah.
There's a problem when you make when you're doing this deal, then you make separate TV deals with your networks for because those deals usually are 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You don't usually sign a TV deal for just 1 year with the company.
Yeah. Definitely, it's a bit weird.
It'll be interesting to see how America deals with that. But all I know is that Netflix, they will no longer be bleeping the swears. So The Rock will tell you where you can stick it, and he won't be bleeped.
A lot of changes has happened already. Obviously, it's been a lot more less censored.
Been a lot more blood on TV. There was never this much blood as there is now.
It started with The Rock and Roman, The Rock and Cody, when Cody got beaten up by The Rock, and there was blood everywhere. Then it's continued all the way up to Clash. So
pretty much most main events have quite a bit of blood in them.
And then the Wyatts, which we'll get onto in a minute, they
did a lot of blood.
Yeah.
We'd say breaking news right now. We can confirm Chad Gable is alive. He came back from the dead.
Yeah.
That local medical facility did wonders this time.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can do the same to CM Punk, as we will get into when we talk about later SmackDowns, because he also got murdered live on TV.
Yeah.
by a very
A lot of
angry
murder in
Scotsman.
Rival 2. What we had
By
Ricochet
a
a few
very
weeks ago.
angry Scotsman.
Ricochet is still not being seen.
Mm.
Well, he
Sammy
left
might be the
WWE,
next
so
one
anyway.
murdered, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's getting murdered, definitely.
The other big story includes we're getting 3 big WWE events in the city of Indianapolis. Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana. They're getting next year's Royal Rumble, which is weirdly not in January, it's in February 1st. The first Royal Rumble, not in January. What does that mean for the Elimination
It'd be
Chamber?
interesting. There's less of a build-up to...
But what does that mean to the Elimination Chamber that's usually early in February?
Maybe they do Elimination Chamber first, then the Rumble.
Who knows?
It's just like it might be like at the moment. The moment we're getting PLEs every like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it might be literally
we're not going
to couple of weeks before
January,
Mania.
So maybe they do a Raw Day 1 New Year's resolution smack, like they did before,
Yeah.
On the first week of January, maybe they do a special Raw and SmackDown type PLE, but it's not a PLE, it's just a normal, but they'll just call it fancy.
Yeah.
They might do, but this deal not only gives them the Royal Rumble, but they also guarantee themselves, like the wrestlers in the Royal Rumble, a WrestleMania spot at some point.
Yeah. And a SummerSlam as well.
Not next year's Royal WrestleMania, but sometime down the line they're getting a WrestleMania, and sometime down the line they're getting a SummerSlam. And that's where Pat McAfee is from, so he might have something to do with this. I will.
Does that mean we've got Does that mean we've got one gap now in the next 5 years of SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Because it's most likely going to be... It won't be next year, because I think that's too early, close to the...
Because they said 2 nights SummerSlam, so they want to go after 2026 when they get the 2 nights.
Yeah. So London is still on the cards for 25. It's still not been announced.
Still not been announced. But we have that. That's where Pat McAfee, I will interject here with Pat McAfee. My condolences to Pat McAfee's family and his father-in-law that passed away, why he wasn't on Raw.
Oh, was that? I knew. I saw a statement saying it was a family emergency, but I didn't know who it was. So
it was his father-in-law that was well up until that day, and then just took was actually beating he was in the hospital for, and they thought he was going to be discharged on Sunday. But then it suddenly hit him again. And he unfortunately lost the fight. So that's where Pat McAfee was on the Monday and couldn't make it to Raw. So my condolences to his wife and their family.
Yeah.
So time. And in other news, the missing people's case has been solved. We found Baron Corbin in Scotland. The crowd absolutely loved finding him in Scotland. I must say, he got a massive reaction by the Scottish crowd. But he has been found. We also found Adonis. He had a dark match before the show. He was gone for ages.
Yeah, it's good to see.
And we found Dijak just today. We were all wondering where he was. We found him packing his bags and suddenly walking towards an airport, as he's announced that he's leaving the WWE without having appeared on the main roster once. He was on Main Event, which is their
I don't understand.
TV
What
show.
was the point in the draft? What was the point in the draft? What's the point drafting him up and making a big deal about drafting him up just to release him 2 months later?
Him off the draft, by the way. They drafted him off the draft.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't actually drafted on TV time. They made an announcement on Twitter that they drafted him.
Yeah. So weird.
So they didn't have to tell us that they drafted him. They specifically told us that he got drafted to Raw. He has to make an appearance, but he is leaving, so he's going to take his ratio powers on Twitter somewhere else.
AEW?
Possibly TNA. Who knows? Get his brand back out there. Speaking of partnerships and people joining other partnerships, the WWE is partnering up with Japan. We also learned this in Scotland, where they're making a deal with Noah Wrestling, where a certain AJ Styles is going to be fighting on July 13th against Naimchi over there in Japan. In a separate Japan event, also on July 13th, Io Sky is going to be wrestling there against one of the Thai people over there, and Marigold Summer Destiny at their Queen of the Ring match type.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's exactly Queen of the Ring, but the thing that I looked up said Queen of the Ring. So
we'll call it Queen of the Ring.
So we'll see what happens. So that's one of the partnerships. Speaking of crossovers like that, NXT has been doing a lot of crossovers lately. We had Jordan Grace at Battleground. Didn't win the title, but it was nice to see. And someone in the crowd must have said it, because in NXT just the other week,
say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause you love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico.
That's right.
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry appeared on NXT, hit a promo, joined the Battle Royale, got eliminated first. To which the crowd chanted bullshit for the next 20 minutes.
We believe in Joe Hendry. And certain people in our new Discord that we have quite a few new people in this week from when we went to Clash. We met some mates and they've joined our community, which really appreciate. Links in the description if you want to jump in. Bullions, my old mate from my old adventures in the FM community. He believes in Joe Hendry as well. So shout out to Bullions for believing in Joe Hendry.
Yep, and everyone believes in him, and he got very angry at Shawn Michaels, saying that he put everyone against him, and said, "It doesn't matter, any show, any place, I can appear as long as someone says my name." And then Shawn Michaels says he believes. So when will Joe Hendry appear again? We'll wait.
Royal Rumble, calling it.
I mean, it would be a big pop at the Royal Rumble.
I'm calling it. He comes out at the Royal Rumble.
He should be number 30, where we build up to the men and then ghost.
Everyone thinks it's going to be The Rock. It's Cody versus
Joe Hendry. And then we go into our final three stories. And the first one, after surviving the angry Scottish crowd, after he wore Germany top, Mr. Ludwig Kaiser, sadly, 2 Raws later, got injured in a match against Braun Breaker.
The Scotland crowd did not appreciate the German, especially when he comes into the ring doing this.
It was 3-0 at the time. It got better for him later. Let's go like.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he would have done 5-1 if it was actually that at the time. Not sure.
Yeah.
Might have had to do this. Just very.
Yeah.
He wasn't the only one that brought up the score line though, because Sheamus did later as well.
Yeah.
And
boys.
Our second last story, we have the WWE just today announcing that they have partnered with Trash. I'm only joking because that would be an insult to the trash industry. Big up the bin men. They have done a collab with Man City, saying we both have passionate fan bases, which someone should have told Triple H that they have about one fan at best. Ignore the United thing up there. I'm totally not bitter about this. It is completely factual opinions here on this news.
Mm,
No bias whatsoever.
indeed.
And now we end with the reason why I'm wearing this shirt, Roman Reigns shirt. We end with a sad story today, and that is a WWE Hall of Famer and one half of the Wild Samoans and the father of the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, Sika Anawe, has passed away. Just a day or two ago at this point.
I think this is a good time. We normally don't acknowledge our tribal chief, but I think this
We will
is
acknowledge.
we acknowledge him.
Even
I thought so with.
Even Jay have to acknowledge for the one again.
I thought so with Roman and his family.
And
this
everyone
delay
in the story, even if we don't like the bloodline, our thoughts are with everyone. It's a character, real life character. Get out of the.
Do we think this could delay Roman's return potentially?
It possibly could. But he was out at children's hospitals. The big good guy Roman was the day after this news, so it hasn't stopped Roman's charity work.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's a nice guy, that news guy. Don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Now on to the actual show. So when we last saw yous, it was the week before Clash.
It was. We were building up. We were very excited, and let's get started on Monday Night Raw. No, SmackDown. We did Monday Night Raw, didn't we?
We did Monday Night Raw because it was just on that day where we did it.
Yeah.
We'll start with SmackDown in Scotland.
Yeah. So
Kevin Owens was late arriving and got locked out, so someone had to let him in.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him.
He's got an idiot problem, you know.
He does. He had a match against Solo. God help him, he can't escape the bloodline.
Yeah.
But the Street Profits were there for him. They told them, "Don't worry, we got your back. We got your back. Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine." And then the Tongas murdered the Street Profits.
On the Street Profits, before we move on that, the injury to what's his name?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Do you think that affects the story with the Street Profits? Because they were really building on that new faction.
And they were building a feud with Carmelo Hayes. They were.
Yeah. Do you think that affects the long-term storyline of that new faction? Because it looked like it could be a decent faction.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does affect it.
Yeah, hopefully he's back soon.
It remains to be seen. But Clash was an interesting. Clash of SmackDown was an interesting. We had Chelsea Green versus Naomi to start off.
Yeah, it was a good match. Whole night was good. It's a good SmackDown. Yeah, it was a good match.
We had DIY tried to get a title match that I predicted, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's coming. It's a matter of time until they win the title.
They're teasing the Austin Theory face turn.
Definitely.
LA Knight has decided to go to Puerto Rico to go to Logan Paul's pool.
So he's just chilling in his pool.
He's chilling in his pool. I asked him what his policy on peeing in the pool was. And left. To then we got a promo of Carmelo Hayes in Scotland saying, "What the hell was that?" You mean somebody just went there just to have fun on his book? And then he said he wants to be mellow in the bank.
Yeah, is this going to be a new thing now that anytime someone feuds with LA Knight, he's going to just turn up their house?
Yeah.
Is this a thing now?
We had a good promo between AJ Styles and Cody where AJ goes, "You're a quitter. You quit on New Pro Wrestling in Japan. You quit on the WWE the first time. You started a company, an AEW reference, because we can't mention their name, but what they said, you started your own company and you quit on them too." To which the crowd were chanting, "Shut the fuck up" to AJ at this point. It was very not what the WWE is used to in their own broadcasting. To which AJ would say, it's not easy hearing the truth, is it, crowd?
Yeah. And Cody cooked.
And we were like, Cody Rhodes all the time. To which they had to stop several times because the noisometer was popping up.
Yeah, we had this decibel meter coming up on the screen, and we were so close to breaking the record from France. I think we didn't quite break it. We broke the gate record for Clash for an arena, but we didn't break the actual noise record. But I think we were very close.
I think they were close. I think they deliberately. There were certain things that I said to you, John, after the thing that they could have done that would have gotten.
Yeah,
I think they wanted to.
I think especially.
I think they want
event.
to get people close, but I don't think they want people to actually break the France record yet.
No.
I think they just want to get people close to it.
Maybe Bash in Berlin. Potentially.
Possibly, but like Cody had to stop quite a few times because the crowd was just too. For the man who's the American Nightmare, he's very much worshipped in Europe.
Yeah,
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Compared to the US, if you compare the two.
Yeah, we're different gravy, our fans, aren't we?
Exactly. Then you had you had a scene of Baron Corbin showing up in a scene for the first time. The crowd loved it. Then Santos Escobar came out to fight Apollo Crews, who gets more TV time. Where has Apollo Crews has been? I don't know. But he's now had 2 matches on TV.
So he's been seen twice now.
And then we sold our car to Santos Escobar.
That was funny. Such a random song.
And then the crowd went wild when Baron Corbin got involved. There was a chant for him too.
Yeah.
And even when he wasn't there,
they love Baron Corbin.
Even when he wasn't there, Baron Corbin was being named as
there was chance for Baron Corbin in the main event of Clash.
Exactly. There was definitely 2 people behind me and Jono that really wanted Baron Corbin in every match. Even the Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable match, they wanted Baron Corbin there.
Yeah.
We had the Bloodline getting banned from interfering with the match with Kevin Owens, to which then Solo turns to the Paul Heyman thing, "If I lose this match, I'm killing you." I was like, whoa. I was getting ready to run down there and protect Paul Heyman because that was a bit too uncalled for. He doesn't deserve that.
Yeah. He needs a friend. And he got a friend later in a few episodes' time, which we'll talk about.
The match went really good. Kevin Owens was about to win, and then Paul Heyman saved the day by putting the foot on the rope, and then Solo ended up winning because Kevin Owens was about to also then kill Paul Heyman for that.
Yeah.
He was about to slam Paul Heyman through a desk. He was about to slam Paul Heyman through a desk. Kevin. Then the Bloodline showed up like they always do. They beat him up. But then Randy Orton showed up. And the crowd loved Randy Orton's theme song. That
Scotland loved Randy. I think it was one of the biggest pops of the weekend. Randy coming out.
The song got interrupted first because he was helping, but the moment he stopped, the song came back on, and the crowd were absolutely all over it.
Yeah, we loved it.
Randy even stayed there, even when the cameras cut off. Randy stayed there for another 2 minutes with Kevin, just letting the fans finish the song on the ropes.
Yeah.
And then we go into Clash.
Yes.
Where we start off with a match that on any other pay-per-view would have been the main event.
What a match to start.
And every other pay-per-view that would have been the main event. But Cody and AJ was the opener.
Yeah. Yeah, and what a opener.
The crowd, we wanted tables, and Cody brought out a table. He set it up. And no one used the table for a while. We'll get back to the table. There was a lot of harsh movies. Very surprising though from AJ that he didn't use his group. They were nowhere. Yeah. They were there the day before, so we knew they were in Scotland, but they didn't show up for the main event for that event.
Yeah, and what a main event it's like. And then
everything. A lot of Cody was handcuffed at one point.
Yeah,
beaten up. And they fought outside. They went to the back.
Mama Rhodes got involved.
Before that, Cody grabbed some randomer's drink, which that's about £8, Cody. You owe him that back, and he chucked it at someone. You owe that man £8. Those are not cheap drinks, Cody.
Yeah.
And then they fought. AJ tried to strangle Cody with some dude's headset.
I was quite impressed actually on the drinks. It wasn't as bad as the O2. The O2 is very expensive.
And then you had Mama Rhodes chatting shit, and then AJ goes like, "Mama Rhodes, why are you chatting shit?" And she stands on business and slaps him about 4 times.
Yeah, which we'll see later.
To which the crowd chanted, Mama Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes. Mama Rhodes.
Not the first crowd to ever have a chant for Mama Rhodes. And then AJ wrapped steel chain around his arm, going for the phenomenal forearm with the chain. But Cody got up and shook the chair at him and sent him into a table the table that he set up in the beginning.
Yeah.
He got back in the ring. He did one crossroads, but we didn't want just one as a crowd. We chanted
3.
one more. We chanted one more. And he said, fine, I'll do a second one. From the crowd, once we got 2, you need the trifecta. We wanted all 3. And so the coach says, I'll do you one better. I'll put a chair there. We'll crossroad them into the chair.
Yeah.
So the crowd were loving it. And then he handcuffed AJ to the ropes. Got out of the ring, picked up the steel steps, and ran at him. And then AJ shouted, I quit.
Yeah.
There was a lot of moments where it got into AJ's face, and he goes, AJ, do you quit? And AJ's like, fuck off, Cody.
Yeah.
And then
he threw the step at him anyway. He goes to Mama Rhodes, should I do it?
He looked at Mama, and I do it? And she goes, do it. She's like Caesar with the.
We need a match with Mama Rose in WrestleMania. Mama Rose versus Rock, the Rock's mum. Book it, Triple H.
AJ received urgent medical attention after the brutal beatdown by Cody.
Yep. Do we think that's it for him to TNA for a while now? Obviously, we've talked about the Japan
he's going
match.
to Japan in July. I'm not sure we see him before or after that.
Yeah. I think TNA would make sense.
Cody then walked off to celebrate. He was celebrating, then who came out to celebrate alongside him? But the tribal wannabe in Solo. He came out to clap, celebrate him, and I thought, he's just here for a hug, you know? He's like, congratulations, Cody, my man. But then the Tongas showed up and started beating him up.
Yeah. And then Randy's music hits again. I
think Kevin Owens was there too. We knew Kevin was there because he was on the pre-show commentary.
Yeah.
Talking about match.
Yes, Kevin Owens and Randy come out again. Randy's music
make
hits,
the
people
save.
go mad.
They make the save. Randy stares quite nicely
At
at
the belt.
Cody's token, just like, it's a nice belt, though, I must say. It is quite
Yeah.
shiny.
That heel turn's coming soon, isn't it?
I would say so. Then we had the triple threat women's match.
Yep.
The Super
And
Team
one
2 and the Witches won. That's the main story. There was a botch.
shock of the night.
Jay did tap out to
Yeah.
do Shayna Blazer. I will say that. That was a bit of a botch. She wasn't meant to. That's why they continued, but there was a tap out.
Yeah. Yeah, they deserved it. The shock of the night. I think this won everyone in the audience to think that something was going to happen in the main event. Because we knew they would.
Because on the day we were all everyone in the crowd was saying Drew might get away with it. We knew Punk was in the Scotland, but we're like, surely he's going to fail. That's what the feeling was that day. But the moment the tag belts went to the Witches, everyone's mood changed to, oh shit, the main event.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
Yeah. Because we knew they wouldn't have screwed Scotland out of all three matches. Obviously, there was 3 matches: the main event, the tag match, and the women's match. Bailey was not going to lose to Piper Niven. That was just a crowd pleaser. Great match, but she wasn't going to lose that. And as soon as the tag champions changed to Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, we knew that something.
Which congrats to Alba Fire, who lost her mom before that.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, and I think it's good story. I think they were good champs, but they were never going to be long-term champs because I think, especially Raw now, Raw need.
Raw might get me on, but I do think they're going to keep Jade on SmackDown because I think Jade has an obvious feud with Nia Jax because they said remember the qualifier for Queen of the Ring, aggressive went for the daughter and Jade got herself disqualified angrily.
I think one of them has to go to Raw though because Raw needs more main event.
No, I would do Bianca because she doesn't really have a set storyline, but Jade has it as a go-to. If we're saying Nia Jax is winning the title at SummerSlam, which I think she might, the obvious thing for Nia Jax feud-wise would be a Jade Cargill at that point. Because it's the only one that they have already a little bit of a story element for winning something, you know?
Yeah. I haven't decided on the main event yet. I think it all depends on who wins Money in the Bank and what way they go down.
We'll get into that. Speaking of Money in the Bank, we have a Sami Zayn IC title versus a man who's entered the Money in the Bank, which we'll get into earlier, and Chad Gable, Johnny Daddy, the one I was rooting for that night. I love Sami, but I was a Chad Gable fan for the night.
I think you were the only Chad Gable fan in the whole of the arena.
Yes. There was a lot of people calling Chad Gable a prick and stuff. I was like, it's blasphemy. Not Chad.
What was it? What was the chant? You're just a shit. Kurt
Angle. I said, how dare
the shit.
I was just saying, how dare this crowd?
Yeah, Kurt Angle. You're just
how dare this crowd?
Kurt Angle. That was funny.
I was like, I was just shaking my head saying, how dare this crowd? He's his own man.
Yeah. And it was good. It was a good match. You finally got the turn for Alpha Academy.
They left him, which caused a distraction. Sami Zayn won, which I'm like, at the time, we'll get into it how I think it might be a good thing now, but at the time I was pretty much, what the fuck did they go from here? Because I'm like,
they done us one. No one expected this thing done. I think that worked.
Because I'm like, Chad, they fixed it now with what they've done in the story, but at this moment in time, I was like, where does Sami go from here? Sami had no one from there. And where does Chad go from here? The man has tried 5 times, lost all 5. There's no way you can insert him back into an IC title
Where
run.
Sami goes from here is murdered. is where
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I was like, but at this moment in time, that second when you lost, Chad, I was like, how can you insert him back into a storyline for a belt? He's just lost 5 times for this belt.
Yeah.
You can't just give him another 6th chance. It's just I was like, you killed the dream. Now they started a new dream for me, which we'll get into later. But they killed the dream here. And I was like, you bastards. You killed my one dream.
I think I'm going to kill your other dream later as well, but we'll get on to that.
Then we had Bailey, Piper, and Evan.
Yeah, that was a good match. That was your toilet break match, but I enjoyed it.
No, the beginning I was there for the most of it.
Yeah, it was a good match. Yeah, it's just as expected though.
I just failed.
Yeah, it was a good match, but I think it had the. I
think the crowd was not fully up for this match, and I think it's because of all the banger events that they had. I think the crowd's voices they rested for this match.
It was definitely louder on SmackDown for Bailey than it was on the Premium Live event because there was a lot of chants. Oh, hey, Bailey. Ooh.
Whereas Clash, there was a lot more cheers for Piper.
Yeah.
And also, in general, I think at this moment the crowd very much were resting. Their voices were exhausted from chants for Sammy, chants against Chad Gable, chants against AJ Styles, chants for the witches, chants against
what's the name from Alpha Academy got a big pot.
Otis.
Chants
for Mama Rhodes. Chants. I think the crowd's voices were fucked at this point, and I think they used this match to dial it
when
down.
You start the event with Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles in an I Quit match, your voices are not going to survive the night.
I feel bad for Bailey because she wanted the crowd to be loud, but they I think people were just resting it at this point.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to save their voices for the hometown hero in Drew McIntyre. It's just unfortunate, but the crowd were trying to save their voices because they got really loud for Drew. Again.
Yeah. 2 times we nearly broke the record, and that was Cody, potentially Randy, Sammy, and
Drew's entrance.
And Drew's entrance. They were the 4 most loudest parts.
I feel like they would have brought back Broken Dreams, but they didn't. They kept his usual intro, but they just had the Scottish bagpipe people playing drums.
Don't understand that, because obviously they had the segment before when he said, "I dream broken dreams,"
and they had they had the line "Broken Dreams" in the promo package as well that they played just before his actual intro.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
They played the first line of Broken Dreams in that package and then stopped.
I expected the bagpipe. Because the guy, we met some nice guys who sat next to us, him and his kid, really nice guys, and they saw guys with bagpipes going into the arena. So that was obviously going to be for Drew. So we expected that, but I expected them to be playing Broken Dreams on the pipe.
No, but I expected maybe it to start with Broken Dreams and then go to the bagpipers. You know?
Yeah.
But it was a good event. Damian Priest almost snapped his ankle the moment the match started.
Yeah.
He tried to do a rope thing, and his foot got caught in the ropes and twisted to where Drew had to actually stop fighting and help him out of the rope.
Do you think he's injured? And that's
I think it's a possibility.
Why a certain someone is back earlier than we thought.
I think it's a possibility, but we don't know fully.
Yeah.
But they had an event. It ended with Drew McIntyre getting the Claymore after the ref got knocked out. And we counted to 10. I was counting for him. We counted to 10. So he's won the title about 40 times at this point. We counted to 10. But there's no ref. But then a new ref shows up. We're like, hell yeah, ref. Great camera angle, though, this ref show. Great camera angle did not show the ref.
I knew straight away. straight away when the ref got knocked out, I knew what was happening. I
We
knew
knew
it
Punk
was
was
going
it,
to
but
be
I
CM.
wasn't sure he was going to be the ref though. I knew. He was
I
gonna show
thought
up.
when the ref got knocked out, I thought that's how that ended. In my head, as soon as the ref got knocked out, I thought they're ending this by distraction. It's him as the ref. He's going to come out as a ref.
He counted twice, 1, 2, and then stopped and flipped Drew off. Drew got up, and then he kicked Drew in the nuts, and then walked out of the ring. The ref wakes up, count, Priest pins, 1, 2, 3. Priest remains champ. But I think, personally, CM Punk did the wrong move after this. He went to the 3 CM Punk fans in the crowd, which made it look like. I feel like it would have been better story wise if we found Drew fans that were pissed off at him and made the camera zoom in on that.
Yeah,
I think it's disingenuous to make the camera zoom in on the 3 non-Scot, because they were not Scottish, they were English that came up for CM Punk. I feel like it's kind of it's not good visually.
I won't repeat what the crowd was singing about Punk. Punk.
All I'm saying with that, like they should have. I feel like the camera should have zoomed in on the angry fans rather than the happy CM Punk fans that he went to.
Yeah, I think it
made the crowd look a bit not for Drew when they win.
I love Punk's Instagram story when he said, "I thought I was gonna get mobbed."
That's what I'm saying. You saved that. You should have saved that for Instagram, but not like the TV angle. The TV angle should have zoomed in on the pissed off ones. Because I saw on social media when he was walking by, there was some pissed off ones shouting at him. They should have zoomed in on them.
I was counting Punk fans though, and there was a lot of Punk fans going into that arena.
There was a lot because not all were Scottish because the Euros were on. That was the problem with that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying what the WWE should have done themselves is tell Punk to go towards the angry part of the crowd a bit more rather than the happy part that he was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just it would have told the story a bit better if Scotland as a whole were viewed as pissed off, rather than happy.
And then a very, very, very angry Drew tried to chase him.
Well, first of all, he tried to kill the ref.
Yeah.
And then he tried to kill Corey Graves. Then he tried to get Corey Graves. And then Wade Barrett was the one to calm him down.
Yeah.
So what happened there?
Barrett was very, very...
he should be fired on the spot, CM Punk.
Yep. He was very against Punk.
And Triple H for allowing this.
Yep.
Which he said he was for it. He was fined for making those comments.
And then we go to the press conference. And Punk turns up in a Celtic outfit.
Exactly. He had and some donuts.
And some donuts, yeah.
And also in this, we did have a before the Chad Gable and Sami Zayn match, we did have a Murders Coming Monday. You're massacred by Uncle Howdy. He's saying you've been warned, a massacre is coming. He did interrupt SmackDown. He did cut out the lights, eerie music, and I will say this wasn't on TV because it was during the ad breaks when these happened. But the crowd did sing "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands" with the Fireflies for. Because we knew it was Uncle Howdy. We did sing the Bray Wyatt song as a crowd, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
Then we go to Massacre Day, as I like to call it. And Massacre Day, where everyone's tuning in for Bray Wyatt. And the show starts, and what do we get? Burn It Down. And I'm like, what? Set? It's like I expected you to be gone for quite a bit.
Yeah. So he comes out. He wants his title back. He's gonna enter Money in the Bank.
He says he knows how to climb a ladder. He's done it before. He could do it.
And then his Judgment Day music, Rise.
Rise for El Campeon.
When he comes out, And he says,
And
"You
says,
don't need to enter the match.
You want your
You
match? You
built
got
this
it."
title, basically. You have your match."
He's like, "I want to prove that I'm better than you."
Yeah.
And then Seth is skeptical because he knows the old bloodline ways, the old bloodline and Judgment Day ways of getting jumped. He goes like, "Oh, is Finn and all of them waiting to jump me again?" He goes like, "No, there's no catch. You have your match if you want it." And he goes like, "Then deal." And the match has happened. And then it cuts to Judgment Day in the locker room. Judgment Day say. Before that, it cuts to Liv sneaking a hotel room key on the table for Dominic, saying, "Come by later if you want." Dominic then looks depressed as Finn and JD and Carlito show up, and they go like, "What's up, man?" And he goes like, "Liv was here earlier," and puts down the car key on the table, and Carlito's like,
Carlito's
"Cool."
Cool. Not cool.
Like, not cool. And then Damien comes back and Finn goes like, "Don't worry, I got your back in that set business if you want." But then Damien says, "Don't worry, we'll park that for later." And then that took Finn by surprise, that line, like, "We'll discuss that later, not now," kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Finn did not look happy at that moment when he said that.
Yeah.
Which could lead into what we're getting storylined later. Finn was not too happy with that. To which then he asks Dominic about what's this about a hotel card key kind of vibe. He asked about a hotel card key. And he said, "Don't worry. It's here. No one has the vibe. It's here." He put the car key down on the table before this. Damien goes like, "What's this about?" The Finn's like, "Don't worry. It's sorted. Hotel card key right here on the table." And then Damien goes like, "What hotel card key?" Finn looks down and says, "The fuck did it go?"
Finn nicked it.
Then they don't know. We don't know about this one. This car key.
Oh yeah.
This is the one where it's like, huh?
Yeah.
Then there was a match later where they're dealing with Braun Strowman and stuff. That match doesn't go well. So Liv comes out for the distraction. Liv then gets knocked on top of Dominic. The moment before Zelina picks it off Dominic and chucks Liv into a thing. Then we have later back in the Judgment Day clubhouse. And Dominic finds another key card and goes like, "She must have slipped it in there when she fell on me."
Yeah.
And then they all go like, "This key card needs to stay right here." And Finn goes like, "Yes, this key card here. Watch it. No one does anything, okay?" And then while everyone's doing their thumbs in shit, doing this, Finn with his other hand is swiping the second key card and sneaking it into his pocket live on camera.
Yeah,
which is quite suspicious. We also had Chad Gable in this. Chad Gable says he wants a match for the Intercontinental title again, and then Adam Pearce says what I said. He's lost 5 times. Get to the back of the line, mate.
Yeah.
And then Chad goes like, "Fine, I can get back to the line. Give me anybody to fight." And then they send the Monster Ball monsters to fight him.
Yeah.
Also, he does criticize, and I will criticize too. Tozawa never shows up to help him at these live events. He would have won if Tozawa was there. I'm just saying. He seems to be missing every time.
He gets a win there.
And then, Chad Gable gets just chucked around. None of the Alpha Academy help him. So then he brings the Alpha Academy in the ring to punish. He punishes Tozawa. He's about to hit Tozawa. Maxine gets in the way, so he picks up Maxine's crutch, chucks it out of the ring, and says, "Leave and pick up your crutch."
Yeah.
So she hobbles out, tells Otis to stay over there, and he slaps Tozawa in the face. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, and Otis then pushes Chad Gable to the ground, and then leaves with Tozawa and Maxine and says, "We're done."
Yeah. Wasn't a great night for Gable, was
Wasn't a great night for Chad Gable. We'll get into that later. Then we had Sami Zayn in the ring, being happy that Otis finally moved on, and he can finally move on now with the IC title. And then Braun Breaker comes out and goes like, "We're moving on with the title. I want a shot at the title." But then he gets interrupted by Sheamus, who says, "We're just handing out title opportunities. I only need that to be Grand Slam champion, mate." Yeah. So, as a fellow ginger.
So, they have a match.
They have a match with Kaiser interrupts, and then the following week, then the opposite happens.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre shows up after being angry at the whole CM Punk in Scotland thing. And the crowd then very unfairly start chanting CM Punk's name. Not real. Now, at this point, John, you got to look at it this rate. Even though everyone in America is putting CM Punk as the good guy, in that moment, CM Punk was the bad guy.
Yeah.
He was the heel, and Drew was the babyface on that night.
Yeah.
And the heel CM Punk did a very bad guy move on Drew McIntyre there. Yeah. Was a sure bad guy. So Drew McIntyre is very justified in feeling kind of very angry at that.
He says, "I quit."
And he says he's not doing this anymore with these chants, and he quits and leaves.
We all believed him. Really.
And then we have the Otis telling Chad, "We're finished. Goodbye." But there's a little rabbit in the corner listening in on the conversation on the top of the locker. Little white rabbit that's like, "I see you." And then we had the Money in the Bank qualifier match against Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, and Finn Balor. Now, I know there's a lot of push online for Finn Balor to win it. There was, as you saw, John, there was a lot of people that wanted Finn Balor, Money in the Bank holder, to then dethrone Damian Priest. There was a lot of love for that. A certain Roman Reigns fan account TikTok with the name Roman Reigns Season. Yeah. Not really a full Roman Reigns fan, but he just has the name as John Cena profile picture. Very much was pro Finn Balor for this.
Yeah. But my guy won.
Family for him, main event Jey Uso qualifies, which I did expect because in Money in the Bank you do need at least one or two baby faces in there. Can't all be heels. Jey Uso is on the promo photos for Money in the Bank. He's on the promotional material with Yeet in the Bank on the thing. We'll get into that one, but he is on.
We need Yeet in the Bank. We need it.
I will also, when Otis says he's going to leave, Chad then goes, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to enter Money in the Bank myself, become master in the bank, and I'm going to do something that failure Otis would never do successfully. Let's cash it in and become champion." So that's what the new agenda has started on that moment. Now, I thought it got derailed directly after this, but the new agenda started there. And then we end the show with Jay doing his Firefly Yeet thing, and then the lights go out. Then suddenly there's a door. And the door opens. And the creature from the Grudge starts crawling out. AKA Nikki Cross. In some very terrifying makeup. Starts crawling out with the smoke to Bray Wyatt's lantern. And then she gets up and points to the cameraman to go in the back. The cameraman's like, sure, why not? I don't get paid enough. He walks in the back and sees a rabbit with a hammer and a bunch of dead bodies. But he sees a rabbit with a hammer.
Yeah.
Staring. Then he goes to the next room and he sees blood everywhere and a load of bodies. And Dexter Loomis just in the corner, like, doing this. Speaking of which, Dexter Lumis is a character that canonically in WWE married Indy Hartwell, in the way kind of thing. After she's posted images that she wants to know how to file for divorce because her husband is now a mass murderer. And she's looking away. She did not know he was this, even though he was given these vibes back in the day in WWE. We warned her of this. He was a bit of a serial killer vibe.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the rope and we see Joe Gacy from NXT as the pig.
Yeah.
And then it zooms in on another 2 dead bodies. And then Chad Gable with a bullet wound to the head. Not actually a bullet wound, but it did look like it. It was painted that way.
He looked dead.
He did look dead. And then we see Uncle Howdy there doing a dance. Yeah. Before he starts walking and everyone starts following him, he gets out to where Nikki Cross is, picks up the lantern that says, "We're here," and then blows it out.
Yeah, and that's how SmackDown Raw ends.
That's how Raw ends. Yeah. And Jey Uso did an interview afterwards saying they can have the Fireflies back. I want no business with that.
It's very clever how they made Jey Uso finish the show
with the Fireflies.
Go straight into.
And he instantly has an interview afterwards that they can have the Fireflies back. His family is here now. I mean, no disrespect.
Yep. Don't blame him. That is certainly no.
And then the same week, the only thing I'll mention about NXT was that Joe Hendry appeared in the same week the next day. Big thing. Say his name.
And he will appear.
And he will appear. And then we went to SmackDown in Chicago, where CM Punk was not showing up on Monday that week. He was showing up on Friday Night SmackDown because it was in Chicago to maybe bring good news. Sadly, he didn't bring good news, so I assume what happened in the show was because he's not medically cleared just yet.
Mm.
I assume this is why they did.
I reckon I reckon they were going to, and it's to delay it till SummerSlam, I think.
Yeah.
I think he was medically cleared till he got beaten up. So that's delayed. Him being beaten up's just delayed it.
He came out, but he got interrupted by an old friend in Paul Heyman and said, you're the only one that I'll allow interrupt me, Paul. Mid-sentence. Yeah. And Paul says, do me a favor and leave. And I'll do you a favor and tell you to leave, and you do you a favor. But then the bloodline comes out, and they goes, Paul, what was your favor you wanted to ask me? And he said, take me with you. They did hug, though. They hugged before. That was nice. He goes, Paul Heyman finally got a hug. He's like, are you okay, Paul? Yeah, like, no.
I think
they have a hug.
If anyone needs a hug, it is Paul Heyman.
Yep, he did need the hug. And he goes, I acknowledge that you're a cosplay tribal chief and some fake ass Usos.
Yeah.
To which then Cody shows up with the equalizer because they're about to beat him up. Cody shows up with some sticks.
Do you think that hints towards a future potentially of them teaming up again? So CM Punk and
maybe. But then we had the women's qualifier match, to which Chelsea Green qualified for the women's side of things.
Yeah.
Which means we're going to talk about the Money in the Bank of who qualifies next, but we did have a qualifier match here. We had Randy with the Tongas against the Tonga, but Solo set a mission to stop Randy and Kevin qualifying as the priority, not qualifying themselves.
Yeah.
So the other Tonga showed up, but Kevin Owens interfered, but that allowed Mello to snatch the pin.
Mello in the bank, maybe.
There was a promo between DIY and Grayson Waller going like, oh, you're a bad friend. He's injured because of you. No, I'm not a bad friend. He's injured because you guys got involved. But then there was a loud bang, bang, bang. On the metal thing, security was all raving because they're all scared that the Wyatts are going to show up at SmackDown, but they didn't. It was actually Drew McIntyre who murdered CM Punk and carried his body in front of the Chicago crowd to get a bit of revenge for what he did in front of his crowd. He dumped CM Punk's body.
It's very clever that the Raw after Clash was at
the SmackDown
Chicago.
that they could
SmackDown, SmackDown. It was very clever. That's the way it went.
Yeah, that he could drop CM Punk's body in front of his crowd.
Yeah.
And then he stole his bracelet with his wife's name on it and his dog.
That's just mean. Huh.
And then we have LA Knight calling out Logan Paul again, but he doesn't show up once again and goes like, God damn it, do I have to wait till next week in a We shouldn't be having qualifier match for Money in the Bank. We should be fighting for your title, which I still think they're delaying that to SummerSlam as well. They're just keeping the story going. Then Santos Escobar shows up because no one was selling him his car this week, so he showed up because he's in the match too. Then Logan shows up and knocks LA Knight out.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win that?
We had Kevin Owens. I think Santos Escobar.
Yeah, for story times line, I think it has to be Escobar, doesn't it?
I think it's going to be similar to what we're having before, where the main event people are getting involved with themselves, and then they get snatched by the other guy that's not involved in the feud.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with the next one, where you had Grayson Waller, Kevin Owens, and Andrade. Both Grayson Waller and Kevin Owens have their own storylines that they're currently doing. So Andrade won that because he had nothing. The speed champion.
Yeah.
Our tribal speed champion, he's the greatest ever. Because Kevin Owens got absolutely injured in the beginning of that, by the Tongas. So he was on one leg for the entire match.
Yeah.
Then we had the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Solo. Where Solo, Paul
didn't
Heyman
last very long at all.
Paul Heyman goes, listen, Solo, there's certain rules that you don't break. Roman said that CM Punk was off limits because he's my personal friend. Thank you very much. He means a lot to me. He's the one man you don't go for.
Yeah.
And you're adding people. I'm just saying, when Roman gets back, it's like, I hate to say to you, Tribal Chief, because I do love you. But Roman ain't coming back.
Yeah. Breaking news. Roman dead. Confirmed.
And then it's like, Paul's like, it just can't be. It can't be. And the match starts. The good 3-minute match.
Yeah.
Lasted exactly 3 minutes. It's including the entrances.
Yeah.
Because the Tongas showed up straight away to beat up Cody.
Yeah. And then Randy and KO turn up again.
Showed up. They get the upper hand. They actually do successfully beat the Bloodline. Solo's scared and goes like, no, keep away from me. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. And instantly switches to a smile. And then Jacob Fatu shows up and kills everybody.
He literally murdered everyone.
He's outshined Solo in one segment.
His 2-minute, it's like 2 to 5 minute career in WWE is already better than Solo's whole career.
As the tribe, and especially as the Tribal Chief. Man's like the proper Tribal Chief's here now. Jacob Fatu. I can the moment that I saw him with that little set, I can understand why they were hesitant to introducing before this, because he would outshine Solo. It was also announced that at Money in the Bank, which we also predicted, John, it would be Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. When they had that segment at the end of Clash, we said, okay, this is the Money in the Bank match. It's going to be a triple threat, because remember they predicted the next match was going to be a Solo versus. I was like, so it's not going to be Solo versus Cody just yet. The reports didn't change it to SummerSlam, but they were saying it was for Money in the Bank. It's like, it's not for Money in the Bank then, because now it's obviously a triple threat.
Cody versus Solo just wouldn't make sense because what has Solo done to earn a title
But
shot?
that's what I said. Remember, like they were saying at Clash that it was 4 Money in the Bank, and I was like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
But when that came out, it's like, oh, so it's obviously a 6-man tag match instead.
Yeah,
We're going for
that
it.
makes so much more sense. Like he's literally not done anything to earn a title shot.
So the 6-man tag match is confirmed.
Yeah,
We don't know
probably
which
different.
members of the Bloodline are in that 6-man tag match because there is now 4 of them.
Yeah.
Mind you, I would put Jacob in it just because if I'm Solo, it's the most logical one.
I think you go Jacob, Solo,
Tama.
and Tama. Tonga.
Because Tongaloa hasn't done too much as the other 3.
Someone put a tweet. Here's a game for you. Someone put on Twitter. I put it in our Discord as well. Join if you're not. It's in the description. But someone put on Twitter earlier. Rank the new bloodline 1 to 4. I've gone Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga, Solo, because I think they've just killed off Solo's character with all those losses. Then, because we haven't seen much of him, I've gone Tangaloa last.
Yeah.
What would your 4 be?
I think I have the same order. The only one that I would be him and hawing is like Tamatonga versus Solo because they both not done too much.
Yeah.
But I would just edge Tama just for the
Exactly.
vibe.
Especially if you don't feed him.
Exactly. And then we go back to the latest Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Where Drew McIntyre shows up on the show. We get introduced. No Pat McAfee, like I said, his father-in-law died here. He was supposed to be there. They had a segment dedicated to him with the Wyatt family later that they had to pivot from still do it, but pivot from the actual idea of that.
Yeah.
But so condolences to Pat McAfee's family, like we said earlier. But Miz was on commentary for the first hour.
Yeah.
We'll get to why he wasn't on commentary for the 2 hours after that, but he was on commentary for the first hour. Drew McIntyre opens the show and says, "I now have your wife. I hope you're uncomfortable and eating stuff through a straw in that hospital bed." Because I put
this
you there.
is gonna be.
And then he said, "Everyone that chants CM Punk's name is now dead to him, so he's gonna pretend like they don't exist."
Yeah.
So as far as he's concerned, they're not people anymore. But then he says,
I know he said. I know Punk said in the press conference that we need to stop fantasy booking, but the only way to sort this feud out is a SummerSlam cage match. It's got to that point.
I think it's a trilogy. I think it's a trilogy.
Yeah. Where do you think the first one will be then?
Probably at SummerSlam. First one at SummerSlam. Then I think you maybe do one at Survivor Series. And then if you do this rumored Bad for Blood in October that's rumored to come back, I think you ended at the Bad for Blood, the bloody one.
Not Bash?
No. I think you play off that one of them beats someone so bad at SummerSlam that they don't make Bash. Yeah. You get me? But then they come back.
Yeah. Who do you think comes out on top after the feud? I'm going to go Punk.
We'll see what happens.
It's going to be interesting.
But yeah,
I think that's going to be even with The Rock.
Says, "I have your wife."
I think even with The Rock coming back sometime versus Cody, I think it's still going to be feud of this year. It's going to mainly to Mania. It's going to
because Drew puts it out like saying that he puts it out there that CM Punk was the bad guy, which he was at the moment. Like I said, I was bringing the title back to my sick wife in Scotland, and you cost it in front of me. He is the bad guy in the situation, not me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That one.
And then we have Braun Breaker versus Sheamus, interrupted by... we have Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser, interrupted by Sheamus.
Yep.
In this one. Sets up the Ludwig Kaiser Sheamus feud to continue because they were unfinished business. Sadly, Ludwig got injured after this, so that feud's put on hold, but it is still there. Braun Breaker gets pissed off that everyone keeps interrupting his matches, goes directly to Adam Pearce on his birthday and bangs his door down and says, people keep interrupting me. And then Sammy's behind him and goes like, well, no one's interrupting you now. Say what you want. Because I want an Intercontinental title match. And Sammy says,
You got it.
Anywhere, name. And then he says, how about Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
And he says, Adam, make the match.
It's official.
So it's official. So Braun Breaker is going to become the biggest heel in front of Sammy's home people.
Oh yeah, it's in
Canada.
Oh yeah.
It's in Toronto, Canada. This is a very pro Sami Zayn crowd.
Yeah. They're not going to be happy. He's not winning.
No, that's what I'm saying. They've done it in front of a very pro Sami Zayn crowd.
Unless they drag it on so the first match, Sammy wins, and then they make it
possibly, but I just don't see Braun losing.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's the future of the company, isn't he?
Then we had Chad Gable revealing that he is alive. He shows up with security, stays in the room, comes out. There's a promo saying the rumors of my demise have been greatly exaggerated. While looking over his shoulder, we're looking over his shoulder every 2 seconds to make sure the demons aren't nearby. And says Chad Gable cannot be killed. And I said, "Damn right, Chad. Damn right." And he says, "To show how great he is, he's going to fight 2 more monsters." And I got to tell you, he was feeling the attack throughout this match because he was getting battered and shook everywhere. He was not at 100% for this match.
Yeah.
He was failing to suplex quite a few of them each time he tried. He was not going well for him.
He got the job done, no?
But then we'll pivot to earlier in the night where the Judgment Day are chilling, playing PlayStation 5. They got a PS5 now in the clubhouse. Damien comes back and goes, what's all this? And then Dominic goes, you're not going to like this. This was bought by Liv. And it's like, God damn it. And then he gets he gets a spicy text.
Yeah. And then he shows
it to the Judgment Day, and Carlito goes, cool.
I want to see that text. I want to see that picture.
To which Damien Priest is like, mate, I don't mean to say this, but what is Rhea gonna think when she finds out Liv has your number? And he goes, I don't know how she has my number. I didn't give it. Which my theory is, in the hotel room, Finn gave it to her.
Yeah. I said it a few weeks back, Finn, that they used to be friends. They were in a faction together.
I don't think they planned it all the way since the faction, but I think they've rekindled their friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they had a discussion and they've rekindled that friendship.
Yeah.
Because I think Finn is getting very, very weary of Damien Priest not being on the same page with him, and I think Finn's pulling the trigger before Damien gets a chance to. I think that's Finn's plan. I think Finn's getting paranoid that Damien's leaving them, so I think he wants to pull the trigger first.
What about, we all think maybe there's 2 main events for you're going to get Bloodline versus Bloodline at Survivor Series, and then Judgment Day versus Judgment Day. 2 main events. On the Judgment Day side, you have Damien, Rhea, Dom, because Dom doesn't want anything to do with this.
Yeah,
this is a
because Dom keeps saying Because it's very evident that Dom's not on board with it. He keeps saying, I want nothing to do with you. I only did this because I hate my dad, with the saving thing. I only
Yeah.
leave me
And
alone.
then
He's
you
very
have
adamant that
Finn,
he's very
JD.
adamant that he's never took anything and he's never gave his number. I think it's
And then you
Finn
have-
that's doing all of
Yeah.
this to try and mess with. I think he's trying to put all the blame on Dominic, but it's Finn that's doing all of these things.
Yeah, and then you have Finn, JD, and Liv.
Because JD was spotted talking to Liv back then. They mentioned it before. What were you talking to Liv? And goes like, I was just telling her to leave Dom alone. What do you mean?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting where they go with that.
Yeah, but then Chad wins because Judgment Day take out Braun because he goes like, you shouldn't be having fun here. Braun's the real one having fun, so they take out Braun.
Yeah.
Braun gets destroyed.
They dealt with the Strowman problem finally after about 4 weeks.
Chad wins. Chad celebrates. He qualifies. Then the lights go out. And the music starts playing again. Chad is terrified. He's looking around, waiting for these demons to show up. Then one crawls in the ring. Chad falls down. Chad instantly gets out of the ring and tells it out of there.
Yeah,
Don't blame you. None of that.
Don't blame you, Chad. Don't blame you, Chad.
And she walks over to Michael Cole and drops a box right in front of Michael Cole. Addressed to Pat McAfee, who was supposed to be there. And then she walks away.
What's in the box?
It was a VHS tape.
Get a DVD player at least, Uncle Howdy, Like...
Lyra qualified for Money in the Bank.
I want Lyra to win Money in the Bank. I think I've said that already. Quite a few times.
Dominic Mysterio accidentally saved Liv's life from the deadbeat dad. And she goes to repay him by getting him a match against Rey Mysterio next Monday and getting his friends Finn and JD a tag match thanks to R-Truth. Bit of saying R-Truth saying because he loves rom-coms and goes saying to the horror and shock of the Miz. And then goes, I need to find Truth now. A scared Chad Gable after this ran to Otis's locker room to knock on the door and goes, oh, thank God, Otis. I mean, it's everyone else in there. I've missed you guys. My life flashed before my eyes. I kept thinking, families fight, but families stick together, right? And then Otis goes, look, families do stick together. But anyone who hurts them is not family. I meant what I said. I'm glad you're okay, but we're done.
Yeah.
And then Maxine says, you hurt him quite a lot. I'll try to talk to him, but we are very glad that you're not dead. Yeah. Then the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile show up and go like, what's up, Chan? Are you okay? And he goes, no, I'm not okay. I need help. That's how that segment ends. Then we have Damian Priest going back to the Judgment Day clubhouse to Liv going, oh, hi, Damien. Bye, Damien. To which Damien goes like, I hope you've ended it then, Dom. Thinking Dom's in there. He opens the door. It's Finn playing PlayStation. He's the only one in the room. He goes like, you can't tell me that didn't look sketchy, Finn. Like, what are you accusing me for, man? She just came here telling me I have a tag match. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
And he goes like, fine, good look at your tag match. But I hope that's all that is. I'm going to dress it. And then he goes, dresses Seth Rollins, and they have a gentleman agreement that if Seth wins, Damien leaves the Judgment Day. And if Damien wins, Seth will no longer challenge for that title as long as El Campeon is El Campeon.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Gunther shows
Who
up
do you
and goes
think?
then Gunther shows up and goes like, it's nice that you have a gentleman's agreement. May the best man win, and there'll be the lesser man when you face me. Goodbye.
Yeah. Who do you think is winning that match?
I think we'll get into it just after this. Then we go to the Judgment Day where Braun traces Dominic and Carlito away. Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
But then Liv creates a distraction to R-Truth, which causes, and Judgment Day are back as the tag champions, but not just Judgment Day. It's what I said a very long time ago. Remember, you said, "What's the next for the tag?" I said I could see JD and Finn being the Irish tag team, winning those titles back at some point, and they finally have with thanks to Liv. They have like a bit of a group celebration together, which could come back next week.
Which was nice,
for
sure.
Which adds to the theories that the three of them are in cahoots against the other guys.
Yeah.
Because the first missing card, I have a theory that the first key card was taken by JD McDonough. And Finn took the second one that we obviously saw.
Yeah. Yeah, so who do you think is going to win the match? Seth or El Champion, Damian Priest?
I think it's a hard one because with Seth coming with that stipulation, it adds a lot more layers.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't call it because.
And I must say, we also have a banger qualifier match next week. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah, I think Dragunov's winning that.
Does Punk miraculously recover and cost the Money in the Bank match?
Unless you go down the route.
Or Drew qualifies and Punk costs them at the bank.
Unless you go down the route of Drew's been screwed over by the Money in the Bank briefcase twice, he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. So it goes a reverse, if you know what I mean.
I don't think you do that.
It goes full circle. It's just one way they could do it. I don't think he will. I think Jay's winning it.
Well, we'll talk about the card as a general. We have Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. We both predict Braun Breaker to win that.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you have. We don't have any women's matches yet on this card, except for the ladder match.
I think you'll get interference next week in the women's championship match with Liv and Zelina, and then there will be a rematch on Money in the Bank.
Yeah, probably because they have swapped around the belts that are on pay-per-views in each pay-per-view.
So I think that's what happened. You'll get interference probably from Judgment Day.
Probably from Finn repaying kind of a favor, Finn or JD.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have Braun Breaker versus Sami. Braun's going to murder him in front of his hometown and get major heel energy.
Yep.
The women's Money in the Bank match, we have 3 more to get at some point, but so far we have Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, and Io Sky, 2 heels, 1 babyface. Dakota Kai wants to be in this match. And we'll see. She's been begging for opportunities. We'll see if she does or not. In the men's one, we only have 2 slots remaining with the men. One of them going to be Ilya, Drew, or Sheamus. The other one presumably coming from SmackDown tomorrow.
Yeah.
With the other
I think there's more.
So far, the men's one, we have main event Jey Uso. It was a big possibility of winning. I think you also have to put Chad Gable as a big possibility of winning with how much they're building. You have to put Jay for being the biggest babyface, but you also now have to put Chad for how much they're building his character and story, especially with like multiple.
I'm only going with Jay. I'm only going with Jay because he's the biggest babyface and made that quite clear. Eventually, he's going back to the tag division with. He's going to reunite with the Bloodline. So it would be a waste of this main event run if he doesn't win anything.
No, I fully agree. But I'm saying the moment you add Chad into this, you have to put Chad as a contender, like a very high possibility, just because of how much they're building around that character.
Yeah,
at the
definitely.
moment.
I think there's more stories from the women's side of the Money in the Bank than the men's, though, like with feuds. Because if you look at who's qualified so far and potentially could qualify, you have already a feud
With Damage Control and Lyra Valkyrie. You have Chelsea Green that's like that snively. Who also is from Canada. I did predict.
And Chelsea Green's already got that feud with Bailey as well.
Yeah. I could see Chelsea Green actually winning. I would like Lyra, but I could see Chelsea Green winning in her hometown of Canada. Her home country of Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being because she would make a perfect, like, the snivelly money. She doesn't even have to cash it straight away. She would just like having it and just being annoying.
I don't think the host guy's winning it because I don't think she's winning it twice back to back.
Yeah.
So she'll lose, in my opinion. I can't see him giving it to her 2 years in a row.
And like I said, then you have the main event between Seth and Priest, which could go either way.
Mm. It depends how early they want to break the Judgment Day up.
I think that story would depend on how near Rhea Ripley is.
Yeah.
To coming back.
Yeah. And I don't. It would work because then if Seth wins, you already have Babyface versus Hill for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Which works. That it's not going to be Damian Priest versus. At the moment, as Damian Priest is a heel at the moment, he's about to turn. He's not turned yet. So it's not going to be heel Damian Priest versus heel Gunther at SummerSlam. So something's got to change there before SummerSlam.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
It's going to happen, but I think depending on if Seth wins.
That's why I'm going with Jay, so it's Jay because we've already had that feud. Yeah. It's a really good match.
I think if Seth wins, then Rhea Ripley's about to come back sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think then they'll draw the lines of because Rhea likes Dame, they'll have that kind of rift.
But if Seth wins, it could be very interesting if Jay did win the Money in the Bank briefcase because you've got two of his friends. It's his friend in Cody. Does he cash in on Cody or does he cash in on Seth, who he's now friends with both at the moment? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Be interesting to see, but that's basically us caught up on everything that happened.
Yeah, so we're going to now end on my segment. So we introduced it in the last episode where I narrow it down to a few little scenes from the last few weeks and we decide the winner. There were some crackers that I've had to miss out in the last few weeks.
Because we had the greatest week. We had the greatest week of wrestling in general. So, honorable mentions, Joe Hendry. He's not here, but honorable mention.
Yeah. We will start with this one.
Big flag. Oh, second flag. Oh, third flag. And just Michael Cole saying, "Get him, Michelle." He just knows it.
Funk run now.
Give them the nuts.
Start from the start.
Yeah. 1, 2. Major look.
Holy hell! CM Punk!
I think Punk looks good in a ref outfit.
Well, he did say, remember, he did mention at WrestleMania against Seth and Drew that he could be the ref. Did you want me on commentary or I could be a referee? Like, I don't like voting these people, so I'd be impartial.
The balls of CM Punk! He went low on McIntyre!
The balls of CM Punk? No, the poor balls on Drew McIntyre.
And then...
Look at the rabbit. With the hammer.
Oh no. A massacre has happened.
No, he's dead. Oh, boy.
Nearly tripped over a dead body there.
It happens.
So well done, isn't it? We are here. So it was a hard one this week. Very, very good segment.
I think I will also say with the Bray Wyatt kind of thing, the thing that they just did with the interview between Bo Dallas with like the whole thing was quite good.
Yeah, it was.
With the self therapy of Howdy and because of the same person talking to each other about their motivations and bringing up the fact of the online perception of if he's tarnishing his brother's legacy by bringing these characters back, tackling that. I think you're going to get over the next few weeks, you're going to get interviews from each member of the with their actual human persona before they turn into this egregious.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see one from Nikki Cross, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy.
When do you think? And if do you think? What's the name is going to get involved?
Probably after that, maybe after that, because I think they're very intentionally in the funhouse doing this interview.
Yeah. Because
but
I
anyway,
definitely think
we'll get back to your segment anyway. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. It's a hard one. There's a few, as we said, there's a few things that we could have. Obviously, Joe Hendry, the debut of Jacob Fatu, so much stuff has happened in the last few weeks, but we've narrowed it down to these three. Yeah, so the slap.
I'd have to give it to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, it's got to be a Bray Wyatt. Yeah, slap from Mama Rose was amazing, but yeah, it's got to be.
It's been building up for the last 3 months of QR codes.
Yeah, and what a debut it was. Only winner tonight, I think, has to be.
So that's it. We'll see you next time for another show. I think it was pretty good. Good show now. We recapped.
Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and jump in the Discord if you're not. Talk some trash about wrestling. And yes, good night.